After Texas Democrats packed onto private jets, proudly posing without masks, flying to Washington, D.C. to avoid voting on Texas election integrity bill last week. Two of the first three Texas lawmakers who tested positive for COVID met with Vice President Kamala Harris. Look, you can see it in the photo. And there are always receipts these days, right? The crew also met with other Democrats who applauded their move, including New York Senator Kirsten Gillibrand and Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, and appeared all around Capitol Hill, mostly not wearing masks. Again, we don't know the vaccination details on these people, but we do know that now more than double the number have tested positive for COVID. Now, just imagine, just for a second, imagination experiment here. The media reaction and what it would be if the people in the scenario were Republicans. Pete Hegseth.
Oh, Harris, that is the right place to start. There are some moments when that is exactly the way you need to think about it to understand not just the hypocrisy. This is not hypocrisy. This is the home team. This is the media, which has been COVID obsessed for a year and a half before they were, of course, Trump obsessed completely. They now are happy to completely ignore this example of a blatant, what do you want to call it, a super spreader event, whatever you want to call it, because it is their team. And so they ignore it. And as a result, we have to learn about the trickle out. And we're the only people talking about the fact that they came all the way across the country on a private jet without masks. And ultimately, they're confirming the point many of us are trying to make, which is that if you have the vaccine, life should go back to normal. Yet they're trying to treat it that way publicly, but privately they're reinserting mask mandates and telling us that the Delta variant may actually mean we're having to roll backwards. So there's a lot of sides to this story, but the Republican comparison is spot on, Harris.
Pete, actually, the first day, Kaylee, remember on the couch when we were together in studio, I said to you, well, if they're all vaccinated, this would be a tremendous poster for the White House to use because they're not wearing masks. Now suddenly crickets, because we aren't getting the question asked. We don't know how many of those people were vaccinated. We have no idea what the configuration was, but COVID is spreading. It's not quite a super spreader yet, but the numbers are growing. They've doubled, more than doubled in the last day or so.
Yes, that's right. And look, we wondered, the New York Post editorial board did rather, what would happen if these were Republicans on the plane that had spread coronavirus, 5 people testing positive. Well, guess what? We don't have to wonder because we have a pretty clear parallel example here. It was when I was in the White House. President Trump tested positive, Hope Hicks, myself, many others. Vaccines were not available at the time. Do you know what the headlines were, Harris? Vanity Fair said, COVID-infested Trump ramps up the chaos in the White House cesspool. It was a cesspool. CNN just lamenting the fact that he returned to the White House. They went nuts. I had reporters calling my phone with information that had leaked about young staffers of mine, kids just out of college. I have reason to believe so-and-so tested positive. Their personal health information. Of course, there were the seating charts from the Amy Coney Barrett confirmation event. It was breathless, negative coverage. But here, they go away unscathed because they have that beautiful little D on the end of their name, and that stands for Democrat.
Let's give Leslie Marshall a chance to rebut some of the comments here if she so chooses. Leslie.
I have a D at the end of my name, and it was irresponsible. I don't care if you have a D, you have an R, whatever your initial is. And this is why, Harris, this is why, people have the belief, and I see it out there on social media. I even hear it, people that call into my radio show. There's a belief that if you're vaccinated, you are immune from getting COVID. That is not true. What you are immune from, the experts, the scientists, the doctors say, is death, being on a ventilator, or being in the ICU, because that's what we're seeing with the unvaccinated right now. This was irresponsible. Even if you are vaccinated, you're supposed to still be wearing a mask, especially in a small space as they were on that plane. And, if anything, this just shows, look, you need to be vaccinated, because I'm not hearing about any of them on a ventilator or in the ICU. And we're seeing alarming numbers in some of our states, whether it's children or people 30 to 55 years of age now, because we know that this Delta variant is stickier in our lungs. That's what doctors and scientists are saying. So this clearly was irresponsible. It was wrong to do. And I don't care if they were just taking their masks off for a moment. Do we know that for a photo op? But still, they're in a small space. They're traveling. They know better. Leaders, Democrat or Republican, need to lead by example.
If this was for a photo op, then I should never have seen pictures of a woman's underwear among those runaway Democrats. It should never have gotten to the point where they were bragging about being runaway Texas Democrats, not calling themselves that, but boasting about this political ploy. Because if we step away from COVID for a minute, we cannot, unfortunately, run away from what we saw inside that woman's hotel room because she wants to say she's sacrificing. Emily.
That's exactly right, Harris. And just to build on Pete's points that were so true, COVID has been the sun around which the media and this administration has orbited for the last year. It is the reason our individual liberties were suspended. It's the reason why the borders were opened. It's the reason why the federal government still maintains mask mandates throughout airports and every single federal building. It's the reason behind literally every decision, according to them, for spending, withholding, and more spending of money and suspending of rights. And so the fact that this stunt now, in such a dramatic, self-manufactured way, likening themselves to Selma and suffrage and other points of history in which people died protecting what were their constitutional liberties, the actual inert freedoms, the fact that they liken themselves to that, rashly exist in this plane, and then have zero consequences for this. No wonder the only institution in which the Americans have less faith in this country other than the media is Congress.
Wow. Pete, I want to go back to you. Who has the power now among those Texas Democrats to say, it's not working out, we need to take that plane that the Republican Speaker of House has standing by, get on it and go back and get everybody on the record with whatever their votes are, talk on the floor if you need to. Who's got the power to do that? Would that be like a Chuck Schumer? I mean, is there anybody among the Democrats? They met with the vice president. She loved on them for it.
That's a really good point, Harris. I actually do think it's national Democrat leadership who've been using them as a stunt, as puppets, as props from the beginning to push H.R. 1. So if any member of the Democrat leadership said, your stunt's done because it's always been a stunt because you're going to lose, you don't have the votes, they can call a special session. So this is at the footstep of the White House today. That's where the leadership is supposed to be. Stunt's over, failed miserably, go back home and vote. Go back home to Texas where you say the Civil War is happening. Go back to the front lines. Do your job.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.